Okay, what's going on, boys? We're going to go over how to defend like a pro player and elite player running out with your centre backs. I don't advocate it, right? But I'm going to show you some gameplay of where I do it. Now, this is something that's so important. I see so much gameplay from elite division players, and still a lot of players, they don't know how to defend. The reason why I say keep your back four in shape is so you understand the limitations of your back four. 99% of the time with gameplay that I see, people don't know how to use a teammate contain button properly. And what happens is that this is where FIFA gets a bit confusing. It's not like CSGO where these other games, when I started learning CSGO, I was watching pro player gameplay and you can very much understand why they're doing it or what's going on. Are they trying to fake? Are they trying to bluff? But on FIFA, you can't understand. People can't understand why does a pro player use teammate contain, and when they try to replicate it, it doesn't work. They try to do it and they end up bringing a centre back out of position and they end up conceding. And this is why I say, look, you can play aggressively. I'm not saying you can't. But for example, like here, this is why when you get the ball with Dembele here, I say to you, this is a cheap gold team. This is gold Valverde. And you can see this elite division play, decent player, good defending, right? You can see I trigger Valverde going forward. No control on the screens. I want you to focus mainly on just on the player movement. I trigger Valverde on the screen. And then you only have one centre mid left. If you make that mistake and you lose the ball, you're in trouble. That is why I say if one CDM goes forward, the other one has to come back. Now here's why I say be careful. You're better off just running back here, because what a lot of players here will do is they would run out with that player, and I can guarantee you 9 times out of 10 that's going to be an L1 triangle or a driven pass, and you're not going to be able to recover. But watch what I do, for example, like here. I use a bit of teammate contain. Now that teammate contain was not for no reason. It was to stop the pass going into the middle. If I never used teammate contain, there could have been a through ball opportunity. So I used teammate contain to close the gap. Then when the ball went along over here, I used a bit of teammate contain and I wanted to get this player as close to stop that pass backwards. But you can see the main player, I'm covering myself. A lot of players that do the opposite, especially when they get frustrated, they'll use teammate contain with this player and they will control this player. You always want to control the main player yourself. You'll see a lot of top tier players do this as well. Control situation. And you can see like here, now what I'm doing is I'm swapping between them because I want to close the gap in between like this. And also, Tomori's my centre back. So I now want Tomori to go back into the centre and using teammate contain to cover that passing lane. Playing the bluff that he's not going to make the pass. He did a skill move there. Tomori's in position. And then I use my centre back. But that's an example of how you would use your centre back on the elite level, on the top tier level. If you do want to get better at FIFA 23, I do have a FIFA School Series. But just before you skip ahead, what if I told you if you don't get better after 1 month, I'll refund your money? I can say that because I've been running my paid advanced in-depth FIFA School Series successfully for many years, and thousands of others have joined already and still stay on. This is for all levels of those that want to improve on FIFA, and you won't find these videos on my YouTube channel. These videos are in a progressive systematic learning system that teaches you everything from the core mechanics of FIFA to the meta, so you can get better at FIFA as a whole, not just this game, with examples and explanations that go beyond the scope of the YouTube videos. With new videos coming out every single week, these videos also adjust to recent updates and patches so you can stay up to date. So come join thousands of others in a mature audience community for those looking to get better. Patreon.com/NeilGuides, link is down below in the description. Now when you join, we already have a library of hundreds of videos that are specifically made for both new gen and old gen, with new videos in FIFA 23 getting added every single week. We also have an additional group coaching as well that we started this year due to high demand and high request. And don't forget guys, it's a money back guarantee, so if you don't get better after 1 month, I'll refund your money. That is the Neil Guides guarantee. Anyway, link is down below in the description, patreon.com/NeilGuides. But anyway, back to the video. Now it's the same with running out with your centre backs. For example, if you watch me when I stream on the rare occasion that I do, I run out of my, even if you watch my 15k team back, I used to run out of my centre back so much, for example, like here. But you see, it's calculated. I'm not just running out aggressively with my centre back for no reason. You can see with the way I do it is I'm trying to cut this passing lane first. And then while I've cut it out, then I apply pressure to stop the pass going to the striker. You see, I'm not just running towards the centre back. I'm trying to cut the lane. And then here, for example, I make the slide tackle. That way I can win the ball, or worst case, draw in the foul. And these are the small things that make the biggest difference. That's why I say when you're running out with your centre back, you have to be aware of what's the players around. That's why I say don't control your back four. Use your CDM first, because you will naturally understand the limitations of what you can and what you can't do. Same thing with teammate contain. If I skip here now to 23 minutes, right? Have a look, for example, like here, just before when I lose the ball. Same thing here. Instead of running out with my centre back here, I hold my back four in shape. Then here, the logical thing would be to do is just to run with this player and run back. Because if I run out with this player, I'm gonna get done with a through ball in behind. So the best option is to run out. But once you trust yourself and you know when to run out with your centre back, what I'm doing here is I'm applying pressure to the ball carrier and I'm tracking the run. Again, note, the key thing is I'm tracking the run manually. I'm not letting AI do that for me. Tracking the run, you can see then I'm using teammate contain. And then when I'm nearby and there's a chance to win the ball, then I press the L1 button and then I win the ball back. That is the biggest skill gap there, is when to switch to play at the right time. Because a lot of players, they will hold the R1 button the entire time. So as soon as you lose the ball, what they will do is they will hold the R1 button the entire time. The key thing is when to let go of it, when do you switch player, and when do you recover. Those are all the things to take into account. So if you're going to use teammate contain, in my opinion, use it with a CDM or a forward player first. Equally, you can see 25 minutes in the same clip. We do the exact same thing here. So you can see originally when I lose the ball here, and this one I make a bit of a mistake, but a bit of a recovery. And that's where the skill gap comes in, a bit of a recovery. So you can see here, I use teammate contain with Valverde and I misjudge it. So here, instead of using Valverde, I use my centre backs to defend here. Is it risky? Yes, but they're close to now. You see here, I use teammate contain. And what I wanted to do here with teammate contain is I wanted this player to kind of go across like this. It didn't really work out because teammate contain goes towards the ball carrier. It doesn't cut a passing lane out. Then you can see, then I ease off it. I switch that player manually and I control the situation. But what have I done during that period is I've then moved this player to that position as well. So do you see, this is the difference, the gaping hole that then gets, this is where people complain, oh, my defense, they part, the ocean, they part. This is the thing, you have to be aware of the danger. So even if you make the mistake, you've got to be able to recover. So if we go back here, I'm going to explain to you exactly what I did. So here I made a mistake. I tried to apply pressure. It didn't really work out. And then here I made a mistake by committing forward a bit too much. When I made that mistake, I then switched to Tomori. And you can see here with Tomori, I'm trying to stop that pass going to Ginola running in behind. This is just gold Tomori, by the way, and gold Valverde and gold Walker, by the way. Then you can see I'm blocking the angle out. So I'm saying to the game, I want you to pass. I want my opponent to pass the ball to this player. Then when the ball comes over here, it's the exact same thing. You see here, I make a slide tackle, and that slide tackle wasn't random. It was to block that pass, so then I can still be aggressive with Walker only because this player is in front. So you see, these are the small differences that make a big difference on the grand scheme of things. And that is why I'm saying when you're using teammate containing, when you're using your centre back to go out of the defensive shape, you're going to concede unless you understand how to play it properly. And that's why I say if you're going to practice, start using teammate contain with your attacking player. That way you don't commit into position. Because people, they try to press with a centre back. What you want to do here realistically is you want to use teammate contain. Like see, like with Kyle Walker, I'm using teammate contain to bring him into the middle, but I'm not using him to commit forward. Have a look at, for example, these situations. I think I score a goal here, and I think unfortunately this opponent does end up leaving. But for example, like have a look here when I lose the ball, right? I'm using Valverde, teammate contain, a bit of pressure, but you see I let go of teammate contain. And then you see, look, I'm switching to teammate contain. Then I'm using teammate contain with Valverde, and I'm able to cover the center there. You see that? So at this point, just over here, I use teammate contain, but then I stop because I realize if I lose the ball and I'm in trouble, then I see the clear and obvious position is there. I use a bit of teammate contain here because I judge the passes going to the wing area. Then when I'm over here, see Tomori's on teammate contain. I don't want to use teammate contain with Tomori because then I'll create a hole in my centre back. So watch what I do is I let go of the R1 button, so no more teammate contain. I switch then to Tomori, and therefore the teammate contain button will then go to Valverde. So when I press teammate contain now, Valverde uses it without Walker going out of position. And that is why I say when you watch these top tier players and you try to emulate their gameplay, remember that they're not just holding teammate contain randomly. Because a lot of people, they see the text, they see the Anders, and they think, oh, they're using that. That's probably the way to defend. And that is why I say don't use your back four. Use your CDMs first. Trust yourself. And then unfortunately here my opponent just ended up leaving, and then it was just nothing here. This is where most of the time it was just like, you know, my opponent just started walking down off the pitch, and there was nothing really I could do from that moment of time. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Just a quick one in regards to teammate contain. Don't forget, if you want to see the Elite Division 2, sorry, Division 10 to Elite Division series without teammate contain, check out my Patreon series, patreon.com/no guys. By the time you're watching this video, all the videos should be uploaded, and I'll show you how to get to Elite Division with just basic football with a cheap team. Simple, basic football, no teammate contain, no ball or scoop, just the basics without abusing it, because you don't need all this. And that's why I say, get to Elite Division, get your basics in check first, then you can start using teammate contain. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.